are the basis of the foundation.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Voices of the Met, powered by the Met Baby Shop. I'm your host, Imani, and I'm back with another special guest. From the heart of the Met, Mr. Bobby Alexander, better known as Mr. Major Spillage, is more than a name in the city. Built from loss, addiction, and broken relationships, he became a spiritual voice, a motivator, and a man who spent most of his life uplifting the community in the Columbia community. Through wisdom, faith, and real life experience, a true Met baby whose story represents growth, leadership, and purpose. Mr. Major Spillage himself, welcome and thank you for being here with us.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, so
I'm,
I'm excited. I'm excited.
yeah, so am I. Major shouts out to Crosby for putting me down, man. Um, Crosby's like a brother to me, so when he told me about this, I was definitely ready and willing, man. I really appreciate it.
Yes, I'm excited. So we're gonna hop right into this. So
Sure.
for the viewers out there that don't know your story, I want to start there. So what was it like growing up for you? What are some of the early life experiences that you remember?
Growing up here in Columbia, South Carolina, especially on the Monticello Road side, it was very challenging. I didn't have much supervision as a child, so I was off the porch at a very early age, and my neighborhood took care of me, man. Luckily, I had some big homies that were there for me, and although they taught me some wrong things, they taught me a lot of right things, and definitely gained a lot of respect. I gave a lot of respect, and definitely got it back from them, and I was just, blessed in the journey that I've taken. Could have been, you know, very, I'd say, deadly, but through the grace of God, we made it through, man. And I'm just, I'm happy to be here. Uh, this walk has been a very interesting walk for me, and I'm just happy to be able to have helped some people along the way because I've been through so much, man.
I love that. I appreciate that answer.
Yeah.
So, kind of jumping right into it, I think that when you said like Mr. Coleman, my dad, all of my uncles, all of y'all grew up around the same era and that same time. And so I know a little bit about that. And I do want you to kind of talk about what it looked like in Colombia during the crack era. What did that mean for y'all growing up? What did that look like in y'all's community? What did survival look like growing up? And I know you said that you had big homies and other, people to kind of help you along that way, but what did that look
Right.
like?
Well, back then in those days, although um, the crack was heavy, we definitely had a village though. Like your people's parents, they looked out for me. My parents looked out for them. It was definitely a village back then. We didn't have the internet and things like that, and um, it was bad, although it was good also. It definitely built a lot of character in lots of us. As a 51-year-old man right now, I can look back and say that we definitely had a village, like I've said, and like I said, um, just growing up on that side of town, man, you had to have that. And these days it's so different. So being able to look back on those days, the comparison is just much different because as kids we were constantly outside. We were playing basketball. We were jumping ramps on bikes. We were in the woods swinging on vines, and um, we was just simply outside, man. And we gained such great social skills then. And I'm just, I'm glad where I came from. I'm definitely glad where I came from.
I love that answer. And I do think that it's important. Like for me, thinking about getting ready to have children years from now. But,
Hmm.
just looking at technology and how more kids are staying inside and looking at an
Right.
iPad or a screen rather than going outside. And even though like I was kind of that era, like where Facebook was really starting to pop, like I remember going out and riding the bikes and sitting, like outside the apartments, you got the green box, everybody was chilling at. That was the meet spot,
Exactly. Yeah.
So it's like that village that we talk about, it was in person
Right.
tangible village. And I feel like that is what we need. And
Hmm.
so, kind of just going from there, you have made choices and you have made decisions in your life that has allowed you to be this person, to pour into the community, to be and build that village for the younger people, right? And so, what would you say Major Spillage is all about? How is that reaching back into the community and bringing that and bridging that village?
Well, Major Spillage is actually like a debt that I felt that I needed to pay. I've always kind of been like a leader, even in my younger days. And, um, one day, many, many years ago, I'd say about 10, 12 years ago, I was actually spiraling out of control. I was doing things. Doing things that were just not just. I was still running the streets and things. I was constantly lying to women, and I guess kind of like God one day slapped me across the face and kind of woke me up, and I kind of felt bad about being a constant liar. And I said to myself, I don't have to lie to anyone. So from that day on, it just kind of stuck, and it's kind of been like the most consistent. The only thing I've been the most consistent at has been Major Spillage, and it's pretty much kept me. Of course, we deal in loss, relationships, and addiction here. I have struggled with addiction in my past, and by the grace of God, I've overcome that. We've helped so many fight their addictions into simply becoming managers first and um, ultimately, beating their addictions. And we understand that those things come from behaviors and, a lot of different other things in which I talk about almost every day on Facebook at Major Spillage. And I love it. It saved my life. It's actually saved some other people's life from what I'm hearing. And it's just great, man. It's a toolbox that you can take with you each and every day.
That's
Just
really dope.
like I've said, just being positive, as positive as you can. Um, Sometimes we don't understand how powerful our thoughts are. Certain things that we're thinking uh, don't really suggest positivity. So if you keep your mind on positive things, you're gonna have positive outcomes, man. You can
Mhm.
ask me how I know.
Before we get back to today's guest, I want to give a special shout out to Critic Coleman. More than a clothing brand, it's a movement that's bridging the gap between yesterday and tomorrow. Whether you're rocking the Met Baby collection, the Mount Rushmore of collection, or other exclusive releases, Critic Coleman represents culture, community, and creativity. Shop the latest apparel and merchandise today at criticcoleman.com. That's criticcoleman.com. Now, let's get back to the interview. I love that. And throughout this story, I hear you talking about grace, and that comes from that realization and that relationship with God. And so I kind of want to tune into that a little bit. What has your faith developed into over the years? And was it that particular moment where you was like, okay, God, I hear you, or was it other moments, or was it a moment before that? Like, can you talk about your faith a little bit and how that's helped you become the man you are?
Well, I've always had that faith. When you live a certain lifestyle, whether it's good or bad, you're gonna always call on Him. If you get in trouble, the first person you're gonna call is, "Oh God, please help me," and things like that. So even as a child, I've always kind of had that faith because, like I said, I wasn't the most supervised kid um, growing up, and there's been so many times that I had to lean on him. I I've been incarcerated as a young man at 19 years old. I've done 10 all of my 20s in federal prison, and I didn't have anybody else to lean on but him. And I've kind of always done that. Although I've done bad things, if I was out in the streets doing something, if I was trafficking drugs or something like that, I'd always be praying at the same time, please God, just let me make it to where I need to get. And so the relationship has always been there, but um, what brought me back full surface was that, um, like I said, just becoming a man and continuously doing the wrong things. And one day, like I said, he just slapped me across the face and he gave me major spillage. And um, we just been rolling with it ever since. And like I've said, we've been so helpful. It's been so helpful to me because I'm no better than anyone else.
Mm.
So the things that I'm talking about on major spillage, I'm definitely speaking from experience. And it's crazy because I didn't think that I had the sense to do it. So God was always at the forefront. And it's like it's just been a really great experience, man. Just being in spirit, staying there, laying down, waking up in him each and every day. It's just been great, man. I have nothing to complain about at this point.
So amazing. I love
Yeah,
that. I love that. I love that. And so I really do kind of want to dive into where you are right now, right? And so you talk a lot about, well, I hear a lot of gratitude, a lot of understanding of the journey and how every piece of that journey was beneficial to you in every way. You know, it might have not felt that way in that moment, but it was pushing you closer to God. It was pushing you closer to purpose. It was pushing you in the
right.
right direction, you know? And so what chapter are you writing right now? You said you're in your 50s. Looking forward, what chapter are you writing?
The chapter that I'm writing right now is just to stay in him, just to continuously let God, you know, use me. That's it. I mean, it's gotten me this far. I've lost so many. I've lost some very close people in my life, and when things like that happen, it just turns me a lot closer to him. And there's not a moment when uh, he's not on my mind because he's needed.
Mhm.
He's needed in every day of my life. So just keeping him at the forefront and just letting him work. I just allow God to do what he's gonna do. You know what I
Right, right, yeah.
mean? It's definitely spilled over. Lots of my friends and they've they've taken heed to the information and it's like it's a different vibe. Major Spillage is like a vibe. It's like a um it's just positive energy, man. And
Mhm.
if I didn't have it, I wouldn't be here right now. That's for sure.
That's so real. I love that. I love what you're doing. I love what you're doing. And so now we live right now in a time where everything is like super glorified. You know, the life that y'all have worked hard to get away from and make a better life for us, we're turning and we're like, oh, I want to YN. You know, and so speaking to, and do you know what that is? I don't know if I can say that on here, but like a
Why?
young, yeah, it's a
Yeah, I know
young,
what a why. I
okay,
definitely
I'm
know
just
what a
about
why.
I'm about to say, I don't know if I can say that on here, but, you know, so just speaking to our younger generation of men, if you were in an auditorium full of our beautiful Black kings that are around 14 to 24, what would you be telling them?
I tell them to first build a relationship with him. Build a relationship with the Most High. Um, if you're doing things that are not just, you definitely can't be around your loved ones. You can't have things going on in your mama's house if you're not doing the right thing because you're jeopardizing everyone. I definitely talk to them a lot about prison and how that works if they've never been. See, a lot of people don't understand that they're out here doing certain things and they don't see the flip side of it. Like jail um can actually suffocate you if you're not built like that. Like some people can't be captive. Like some people can't even have handcuffs on them without going into a panic mode. And if you're not ready for that type of thing, either you're going to jail or you're going to end up dead or something like that. Um, and a lot of people, they're not really prepared mentally for that because you have to change your mental if you're going to be doing certain things that are unjust, that are going to lead you to jail. You have to be prepared for that kind of thing. So my thing to them is to just do what's right. You know, it's not uh corny to work a job. See, one thing about working an honest job is that you'll spend your money differently. You'll pay attention to how you're spending your money when you work honestly for it. Getting money the wrong way, it's easy. So it leaves your hands easily. And like I said, I've done those things before, and it's just it's bad, but we're still simply here to help, man. Major Spillage is just to give out the right information to the YNs and guys like that. Um, to respect their mothers and things like that, respect their ladies, respect their girlfriends and stuff like that. Because one thing about guys that run the street, in most cases, they're 100 with their partners. They're not going to lie to them. You know, they ain't going to come short with the money to their homeboys, but they'll lie to their lady, you know? So we're trying to change the narrative, man. We're trying to build distinguished gentlemen as well as building ourselves up at the same time because we're not perfect. But it's like I said, man, it's been a heck of a ride. And to see certain success stories that I have, man, it does something for me also. So it's just cool, man. We're teaching our younger counterparts that it's cool to be positive. It's cool to stay low and out the way and things like that. We're simply all about longevity here at the Spillage, man, and it don't stop. It ain't never gonna stop.
I am Tiffany, CEO and founder of Dynamic Barber Institute. We offer master barber classes, natural hair care styling classes, and continuing educational classes. Become a dynamic barber today. Once a dynamic barber, always a dynamic barber. You'll feel like family. We have one-of-a-kind training, institutional value. You're entering into a recession-proof industry. Why not enroll? We'll see you soon.
And so before I hit you with the last two questions, I just want to ask about what was, if you can pinpoint it, what was the biggest takeaway from your time in prison? Like the one lesson, if you had to like put it in a big circle, what would that lesson be?
Uh, I'd say my family, you know, just missing my family. When I actually went to prison, I made a promise with myself, and I actually kept that promise. I said that if I ever got caught doing what I was doing, I'd never do it again. And I actually kept that promise. And I'm proud to say that I haven't been in prison since 2003 when I came
That's
home.
dope, man. That's dope.
So,
That's dope.
so and in actuality, I learned a lot in prison, man. I learned a lot. I learned a lot of etiquette. I learned a lot of respect. Um, so my thing about me going to prison, but it possibly saved my life. You know, God had a different plan for me. So, and the crazy thing about it, I did 10 years in federal prison at 19, and it's like when I went in, it's like I was coming right back out. I got out fast, but it's like I actually did 10 years. All of my 20s were in prison. So
Yeah.
sometimes prison is not a bad thing for certain people. Sometimes it saves your life. It changes you if you do the right things when you go there. So,
And make the right choices when you come out.
exactly. So
Mm,
I'm never against prison to somebody that may need to go.
so real. Yeah, I get that. And so, letting that kind of funnel into one of the last questions, what does purpose mean to you? With everything that you've been through, with everything that you talked about, and you're looking at you in the mirror, what does purpose look like? What does that mean?
What purpose means to me is it's like orders. Because one thing that people don't understand is that when you talk to God, He definitely talks back.
Hmm.
Um, you have to follow your orders. You have to do things differently. Like, um, and sometimes it takes seclusion. You have to get away from all the noise to hear Him. You have to clean your surroundings in order to hear Him properly. And if you stay with that, then you'll definitely hear Him much clearer. But if there's so much clutter, there's other things, you're letting someone else control your emotions and uh, how you think and stuff like that, then you're not going to be able to hear from Him. People can tell you anything, but want to be able to have your own mind and react how you need to react to things, because if you don't, you're going to be controlled. If you care about what someone else thinks about you and how they feel about you and things like that, then you're not going to be able to hear from God, because He's a jealous God. He wants your attention. So you have to give Him that time, and that's what the purpose is, man. Pointing people to Him and the Holy Spirit. It's
Hmm.
not. Um, my job is to point you to what He expects of us, not just you, but me also. So that's what it's about. He's going to give you your orders.
Hmm. That was beautifully said. That was beautifully said. That was beautifully said. I love that. Okay. So, because I just, stuff like this, I'll be question after question. I want to just, because I just love when people are just not only authentically themselves, but they are so connected and rooted with God that it just spills over. You know what I'm saying? And
It
everything
does
that you
feel.
do.
Everybody's not going to receive it. You know,
Hmm.
everybody's not going to receive that. But like I said, man, like I've done so many things that were not right, and um, as a human being, if you're constantly lying and you're being deceitful and things like that, you should feel a certain way. So, in order to change that, there's only one person that can help you change that, and that's Him. So, if you follow His orders, then you can make change, and you can actually help somebody else make change.
Yeah.
It's definitely a great thing, man. I have lots of YNs, if that's what you call them. I don't call them that, but at
That's
higher
what they
part,
call them on social media.
yeah, they call them YNs.
Hmm.
Um, we've definitely touched lots of them, and I can see the change in my neighborhood. I can see the change because if you're not being positive and you're into a whole bunch of foolishness and you're doing things that are not right or whatever, it may not be me that's going to check you. It's going to be someone else that watches the spillage that's going to tell you that you're looking like a lame man because you causing too much drama, man. You know, you're not, you know, and I'm so proud to say that most of them, shouts out to the whole 215 side where I at, man. Shouts out to the whole Metro. Um, it's cool being positive. It's cool helping someone fight their addictions. It's cool um, trying to better yourself where your relationship goes. And like I've said, man, like guys that run the streets a lot, they are so 100 with their partners and whatever goes on in the streets or whatever. But when it comes to their better half or a woman that's in their life, they're lying, they're being deceitful, they're not being 100 with them. Can't no man rub my back, you dig? Like, can't no man console me. Shouts out to my lady for consoling me. You know,
Right.
ain't no man do that. So, I get it, but at the same time, man, it's just, you know, God's working with each and every one of us. My time might not be their time or her time or his time, but God's definitely at the forefront of everything, and He's working with each and every one of us, man.
Most definitely. Nicely said. And it is so cool to spread positivity. That's what
It
we
is.
here for, man. It's the
It really.
coolest. It's the coolest. And so I want to end with a cool question.
Uh,
Okay. So what does it mean to you to be a Met baby? To be made, to be raised and made in Colombia? What does that mean to you when you rocking your
I
tees, man?
love it, man. Being a man baby is what it's about, you know. And I've been to different cities. I've gone here, I've gone there, and I always miss home, man. I don't care if I'm going a week, a few days. I got to get back to the metro, man. This is home for me, and I love it.
I love that. I love that. Thank you again, Mr. Alexander. And thank y'all for joining us here today and tuning in to the Voices of the Met. This ain't just interviews, y'all. This is where we highlighting the ones who made it out or making the way. Don't forget to follow at the Voices of the Met on IG and grab some merch from at the Met Baby Shop or on www.criticoleman.com. Until next time, later.
I just vibe and weed things life throwing me. Who knew I'd be the greatest counter puncher in the history? I just vibe and weed.